What is up, guys? Our names are Eric,
Rowan, and Serhaan.
and we're in the sixth period of dual enrollment Engineering 10 through Peralta Community College. Today we're doing a presentation on nuclear energy and the overall difference between nuclear fission and fusion. So, what is nuclear fission?
Fission creates energy by splitting a nucleus into multiple parts, either by itself or on impact with another particle. The split releases energy from the nucleus, which can be used to power things that we use every day.
But how do we turn that energy into electricity?
Over time, as the particles decay, a chain reaction occurs and lots of heat is created. That heat is used to turn water into steam and turn a bunch of turbines that create electricity. Oftentimes, energy plants are next to the ocean so that they can draw cool water to control reactions. Why is nuclear energy better than other forms of energy for the environment?
Nuclear power is the safest form of energy to produce, as well as not emitting any CO2.
What about the waste?
Well, first off, nuclear energy does not produce very much waste for how much energy it produces, and in some cases, the waste can even be recycled and reused to create more energy. Additionally, the amount of waste created is negligible compared to other forms of energy production.
What about safety? I heard that nuclear energy is super dangerous.
Well, actually, that is a common misconception. Nuclear energy tends to get a bad rap in movies and in the news, but in reality, almost no one has died from nuclear energy in comparison to other energy sources.
Yes, compared to coal, where 24.6 people die per terawatt hour, nuclear is extremely safe with only 0.03 deaths per terawatt hour.
And actually, even some of the biggest disasters that you hear about are not actually deadly, with often no deaths or aftermath for the citizens.
Well, what about fusion energy? Isn't it like a nuclear bomb?
Well, yes and no. Fusion does use the same mechanics as a nuclear bomb, but the difference is that in a power plant, it's a controlled reaction, so it can be stopped at any time, making it extremely safe.
Nuclear fusion can become a great alternative to nuclear fission. It's more effective in creating energy. Combining two nuclei releases millions of times more energy than a nuclear fission does, making it much more effective. Another reason to prefer nuclear fusion is that unlike nuclear fission, it doesn't produce any radioactive waste that can end up being harmful long term.
In December 2022, Lawrence Livermore Labs was able to replicate a fusion reaction where the energy used by the laser to trigger the fusion was less than the output. This discovery was monumental because for decades scientists found it impossible. There's one big catch though, and that is that in a real environment, in a single chamber, many reactions would be occurring consecutively, which would create new problems on how to reliably convert that heat into electricity, and how to mechanically set up a contraption to be able to support that constant fuel intake.
So what is the time frame?
Currently, there are not many ways to predict the time frame of developing nuclear fusion to be commercially viable. But just recently, the first fusion attempt to have a positive energy output occurred. We're still very far off in many ways from actually sustaining that reaction, and many roadblocks stand in the way of that.
For now, fusion is a dream, but it may come sooner than you think, and it could end up having massive ramifications for our society's energy capabilities as well as our eco-sustainability.